I was just drugged. I was just overdosed, and I was just laying there dead. Couldn't move my limbs. Couldn't move, talk, anything. I'm dead.
Hmm.
To knowing that, hey, I walked around the club. I sat
You
here,
did so
reevaluated my
much.
body. I sat here, had a whole conversation with this being, this source. And you're telling me it was only 20 seconds in human.
Yeah, it's your time. Where strength meets purpose. Let's get it. Chasing it with you, where your heart finds truth. More than the fitness, it's the walk with you. A lesson life, every struggle, every move. Step in your calling, let your purpose prove. We rise with you. Live the life you choose. Wake up in the morning, gotta set my. Welcome in and welcome in. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Chasing It with June podcast, guys, where strength meets purpose. This is more than just fitness. It is about building a relationship with God, balancing everyday life. It is the space that we talk about any and everything. All right. Now, if you're ready to live the life that you were called to live, then you're in the right place. Welcome in and happy Tuesday, everyone. Dennis, I see you. How you doing today, guys? If you can hear me loud and clear, tell me that in the chat. Deborah, I see you in the building. Welcome in. All right, before we get started today, let's rewind to Sunday, which is where I dropped the Bible verse of the week that we're going to study. So this Sunday, we're in Proverbs 13, verse 24, and it states, if you don't correct your children, you don't love them. If you love them, you will be quick to discipline them. That is not up for debate. Guys, the activity of the week is 50 high knees. And if you need me to do a video on what a high knee is, I'll do a video on what a high knee is. And of course, I like to be very transparent. I have not done any workout since my last workout. Just being transparent, right? If you didn't know, I'm going to tell you now, today is Veterans Day, so I just want to say a special thank you for anyone who has served in our military. I am going to keep it short and sweet because I have my views on the military itself. I just have my views on it, but with all due respect to anyone who has served or anyone who is currently serving in the military, my thank you. I say thank you to you. I appreciate you. All right, that is it, guys. That is it. Today is also National Sundae Day. So National Ice Cream Sundae Day. I am not really a sweet tooth person, but if I have to pick my favorite ice cream, it would be anything with a drink. Anything you can mix with a drink and the ice cream, that would be my favorite sundae. I don't know about you guys, chat. If you're into sweets, if you're into ice cream or anything of that nature, today is the reason for you. If you want a reason to have ice cream, today is the day you should have your ice cream. Don't forget what I say. Add a little drink to that, just a little bit to that, and thank me later. Today is National Sunday Day. It sounds weird trying to say Sunday Day at the same time and try not to fumble in my words, but it is what it is. Today is National Sunday Day and also Veterans Day. So, of course, our kids took off today, and if you had to work, I thank you for working today because some of us had to work, which is why I'm still in this black polo. I must say, I'm so tired of podcasting in this black polo. It's like literally when I get home and I write down all my notes and I get everything ready and I get my kids situated, it's time to turn on the camera and it's time to podcast. So I know you're tired of seeing this black polo because I'm tired of wearing the black polo. I'm tired of wearing this black polo. I just had that was a side note. Just a side note. All right. All right, guys, on to the next. Sakafet. Qui voyo and kiso pot pouvan, which simply means what's up, who sent you, and what did you bring to sell. My Creole word for today or for the week is en retard. En retard. And I'm going to spell that and explain to you what that word means. If you're not fluent in Creole, you don't know what I'm talking about, I get it. eventually you would learn. So we are practicing one Creole word for the week, and we're going to also memorize what the meaning is. So the word is en retard. It is spelled ANRETA, and it means to be late. En retard means to be late, and we try our best not to be late on this podcast, guys, because we want to chase this conversation and not just simply chasing a workout. On Tuesdays, we chase those conversations, right? So the word again is en retard, and then the Bible verse, just want to roll that back, is Proverbs 13, verse 24, and the workout of the week is 50 high knees, all right? Guys, it is 7:05. We do have a special guest, so we're going to move on to our 3 trending topics, or topics that are on my feed. And I must say, it is or has been a very interesting week for media itself, social media itself. It's been a lot going on social media. So I want to big up Haitian TikTok. So I ran into a Caucasian guy who is apparently living in Haiti. I am unsure which part of Haiti he's living in. He goes by the name Maylon, Maylon. Last name is Foshee, Foshee. Don't quote me on the last name. Apparently he has a missionary that he has in Haiti. He is part of or owner of this missionary, and it's called Agape for Haiti. Agape, according to, I'm not going to say according to the Bible, but I know a lot of pastors use this word in reference to trying to explain what love is. Agape love is all kinds of love, or it's a way to say unconditional love. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's agape love. So his missionary is called Agape for Haiti, which is his small business. He is sitting at 68.5K followers and 660K likes. Now, the reason I'm interested in this guy is not only because, yes, he's doing work in Haiti, and as you know, I am a Haitian. Cash, welcome, man. As you know, I am a Haitian, but I love anyone who's doing any type of work where you have to sacrifice yourself and put others first. And also, hey, you know, he learned the language and he's living in Haiti, so he gets a big hats up to him for his efforts and helping the country, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Courtney in the building. I see you. Welcome in, love. Guys, welcome into the podcast, guys. I'm going to go straight into it because we have a special guest. She's a little bit under the weather, so I want to make sure we get her in and we get her out so that she can go ahead and take care of herself. So the second trending topic, right? Unfortunately, it is about an influencer who's on TikTok. I've never heard of her before until this incident. Her name is Tea Time, and it is spelled Teatyme. So apparently sometime earlier this month, which the month just started, she was live streaming while in the vehicle, while in the presence of minors. Unclear if those are her kids or her grandkids. You know how social media is. It's going to give you a little bit of the truth and then a little bit of the tales. Apparently, she was live streaming, driving when she was doing that. She's known for topics of tease, topic of discussion, or drama on TikTok since I heard, because I've never followed her. So apparently, while she was doing one of these live streams with panels, with people on her panel, she unfortunately unalived somebody with her vehicle. So my focus on, bringing her name is not to give her props or to have people go and follow her, which is why I'm not giving out, her followers and, what her actual page name is. It's to say my condolences to Darren Lucas and his family. It's tragic how we want to be the big influencer, and it's tragic how we want to be on live all the time. We want to stream. We want the content. We want to be able to make funds off of streaming, and we also want to be known. But look how, us not being cautious of what we're doing and us being risky cost somebody their life. So it is not to discuss who she is. It's basically to discuss the awareness of we have to be more careful when we're live streaming and what kind of content we're trying to give out. Number one, what we're doing when we're live streaming, we need to be more focused on the outcome, the goal. I know I want to get this money on TikTok. I know I want to get this money with live streaming. I know I want to be a content creator. I want to be an influencer, but by what cost? You know, this cost somebody else's life, and this is may cost her, her life behind bars because she was being reckless, trying to give social media the tea of the day. All right. So I'm just saying my condolences to the family, to the Lucas family. And just to bring awareness, guys, if we're going to live stream, just don't live stream in your car. You shouldn't be driving and live streaming at the same time. It is not worth it. Because now she has to deal with all that has to come with unaliving somebody. And mentally, she's not going to be okay. So my thoughts and prayer also goes out to her, because it's going to be something that she's going to have to deal with for a very long time. Anyways, moving on to the next, and I'm so sorry that I have to keep bringing you guys bad news. So apparently a young lady by the name of Anna Kepner, she's 18, who was found unalive on a cruise ship, Carnival Horizon cruise ship, that was apparently entering the port of Miami. Unsure of how she passed or what happened. It is still under investigation. My thoughts and prayer goes out to her. And guys, remember, when I bring you trending topics, it's whatever's on my feed, whatever platform I'm on, and what I see and what's impacting me, I love to share with you guys. So that is the tea for today.
Let's go.
All right. I said a lot to say a lot, right? So guys, if I didn't say this already, welcome in. I appreciate you guys for being here. As you know, if you don't know, now you know now. I am asking anyone who has a testimony that they would like to share on this podcast to please send me your testimony so I can air it on Unbroken Voices. Unbroken Voices gives everybody an opportunity to share their testimony with everyone, so other people can be impacted, or other people can be encouraged. You have to remember, life is hard. Nobody gave me the manual for life. Nobody gave you the manual for life. But if you can hear words of encouragement from other viewers or other people who've overcome situations, it will impact your life. So I do have a segment that is called Unbroken Voices. If you would like to send me your voice notes of any testimony that you want to share on this platform, don't be afraid to contact me. I'm easy to contact, guys. You can DM me, message me. You can find me on all platforms. Send me those testimonies so I can play it on Unbroken Voices. And this is the portion of Unbroken Voices, guys. I know it may be a little bit lengthy, but stay with me, guys. Don't go nowhere.
The trigger.
Jesus.
God can do the impossible. Remember what he did for you. Remember that testimony and how you were brought through that testimony.
I'm going to say it again. God is still with you.
We want to hear from you.
We want to hear from you.
Oversteal a joy.
There are things happening, and there is power in the tongue. Be the voice that impact others on the next Unbroken Voices.
Perfect. Obviously. That's why I'm saying I'm going to seek him. I'm take with depression. Then he took away the residue. In other words, he restored my soul. You know that Psalms there. Psalms 23. He restored my soul. Wherever of my fragments of my soul was, he brought it. He restored me. And it was in that moment I said, no, man. No, man. I want to see that God here. Who is this God? The one and the only true God. That's why when the scripture said Jesus is the way, the true. Oversteal a joy. I have a testimony.
Guys, so that is Unbroken Voices, guys. I encourage you to share this live with other people and anyone who may have a testimony. There's no testimony too small. Trust and believe me when I say there are people who are battling situations and they feel like they have no outcome. They feel like they're not going to see the end of the road or the end of the tunnel, and your voice is going to matter. Guys, I encourage you to share this live. I encourage you to share my information with anybody who has a testimony that they could either be a guest here, or they either can send me a video and I will play it on the next Unbroken Voices. Guys, I see you in the chat. I appreciate you. I'm going to bring in my next guest. Her name is Jayla, and she has a story that shook me. Like, you ever hear somebody tell you a story, or you hear a story of somebody, and just the choices of her words, like the words that she chose to use, had me in chills. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. You guys just have to hear from her. Let me pull her up, guys. Bear with me while I find her. I just want to pull her up, and I know she's under the weather, but guys, bear with this. Bear with me now. Don't go nowhere. share the live with somebody. Thank you for tapping the screen, and thank you for all the gifts, and thank you for everything that you guys are doing. Let me find her because I know I talk too much, but I want to hear the end of her story, guys. Hold on now. Let's find her, chat. All right, now I can't see my screen. Give me a second. All right, now hopefully she is online. Yay, she's online, guys. Hold on. It's not letting me bring her up. Let's see what's going on. Oh, it's not letting me bring her up. Hold on. Which is so weird. Hold on, guys. Bear with me because you have to hear this story. Even if I have to bring her up on my backup page, we're going to bring her up. Let me see if I... You know we're going to have to make a phone call. Y'all hold on while I make a phone call and see. Maybe she has her live restricted. Don't go nowhere, chat. You know how TikTok works. You know how live streaming works. Just real time, real stories. Give me a second. All right. My apologies. So she's having some technical difficulties with going live. So we're going to try to bring her in underneath the panel. I wish you guys, listen, don't go anywhere. I want you to hear the story. And I also would like to hear the end of the story. Stephanie, welcome in. How you doing? I want to hear the end of this story because, like I said, I'm not just saying this. I was shook when I heard what she was saying when she started her story. So we're waiting for her to come in, guys. Hopefully I can tag her. Hold on. So that is her name. I just added a comment and that is her name. There she is. All right. So Jayla, you may have to request. Let me see if I can put you in. If I can bring you. What's you guys? So I just sent you the invite. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So you have two choices. You can leave it that way or you can turn on your camera so people can hear you. It's up to you.
Okay, I'm trying to figure this out.
You let me know.
Okay, I am not very tech savvy.
It's okay. We can do it this way. Guys, just let me know if you can hear her.
Can you
Perfect.
see me?
Nice to see you. We're gonna make it work any way we can make it work, guys. So let me just say, this is my special guest, Jayla. She has a story that she posted on TikTok, of course, and I found it. And I would say I was shook and immediately was in her DM like, no, I need you on the show. So welcome in. Welcome in.
Hi, girl. Look, I know my hair is a hot mess right now.
It's okay.
It's been a long day.
It's okay. I was just saying to the chat, I'm always in this black polo. Like, people are going to start a GoFundMe or something because they probably think I don't got no clothes. I'm always in this black polo from work. So it's okay. You look gorgeous. So no worries. All right. So today's podcast is about the contract of death and life. And it's basically about near-death experiences, right? So this is, of course, not my story to tell. And I know I'm long-winded, so I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible, right? So let's get some details, some background about who are you? Where are you from? What's your nationality?
Okay, so I'm Jayla. That's my actual name. I'm from Indianapolis, but I lived all over. I'm American. What was the other question?
All right, so that was the question. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Just so we can get more comfortable, I'm not sure what questions you're okay with or not okay with. Just kind of want to know, did you have like a 2-parent home, or was it just one parent in your home?
So originally, like for the first 5 years, I had both my parents, but then I ended up being in foster care.
Okay.
So, but my parents did eventually get, custody of me back, but predominantly my mom raised me.
Okay. Well, my mom raised me. That's the only person I knew. My mom was my dad. And I would say I don't regret it. I mean, if I had to choose it, I would choose that life all over again. Just because I believe your past will have a lot to do with who you are today. And I just love who I am. And I love where I believe I can be in the future. So when I ask that question, it's only because I want to be nosy. I'm just nosy. That's it.
Oh no. Like, how we're raised can play a huge factor in how we grow up and stuff with that. I didn't have the best relationship with my parents not until I turned like 19.
Okay.
But that's like on my mom's behalf. Like recently, me and my dad, we talk. I mean, I'm here at his place right now.
Okay, good. All right. Are you religious? Do you follow any particular religion? What's your take on it?
So I grew up Christian.
Okay.
But as I got older, I started to like steer away from religion as a whole. It's not that I don't believe in religion. I feel like every religion has some truth to it. It's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. They all have certain pieces, and some of them have certain things that others don't. So it gets a little confusing. I would say I take more on the spiritual side of things. But because of what I did go through and what I did experience, if I had to absolutely pick a religion that, I believe in, I would go based off Buddhism
Okay.
or
Okay.
Hinduism, since those are the oldest religions and they talk about pretty much what I experienced.
Okay. Well, I will say that I don't believe in religion. I do believe in Jesus Christ. If anyone had to, put me in a category, the closest thing I would say for me would be Christianity. Now, this is the reason why. I believe that when God created man, when God created Adam and Eve, if you do read the Bible, I believe that when he created Adam and Eve, his intent wasn't to give them religion. That didn't exist. Like, he didn't say, oh, follow my religion. He wanted unity and he wanted a relationship. So when people, fight over, religion this and religion that, I'm usually the one that says, I think God really prefers a relationship with you. When you pass away, I don't think he's going to say, hey, were you a Christian? Were you Muslim? He's not going to say that. He's most likely going to say, do you know me? Have you known me? What have you done for my kingdom? So in a sense, I do not believe in religion. I believe in relationship. However, I do read the Bible, and if I had to classify myself as anything, the closest thing would be Christianity. So I thank you for your honesty, right? Now, not to give your story out, but just only kind of answer the question about this statement you made. When you were telling your story, there was a statement you made that kind of gave me like chills, but in a good way, right? Let me see if I can find it. So you stated in your story, without giving me the full story, because I want everybody to wait for the story, you said, I used to be able to feel connected with the world. Like the birds would sing and I would understand it. Like, what do you mean? Like, I was like, what?
Yeah. So, like growing up, okay, so I noticed I started having gifts like maybe around the age of 4 and 5. I know that's like so long ago, but it was like I would be able to see like certain things that I couldn't explain, and like when you're going in foster care, if you don't have a home to go to, it puts you in this thing called the Guardian's Home. I don't know if that's for everywhere, but that's how it is in Indiana. And in the Guardian's Home, there was so many spirits and stuff in that building, and I would complain to the adults and be like, you know, I see these things, and they'd be like, oh, that's just your imagination, you can't see it and stuff like that. But like whenever I would go outside, like the way that the wind will blow, the way that the birds would chirp, or like the trees, it's just like it's not talking in a way that like how we're talking. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a different wavelength of understanding what it means or what it's telling us, or like they're telling me like the weather or how it's gonna be or like what time it is. Like you just it feel a sense of grounding.
Okay. So it's a sense of feeling that you get when you're around nature, right?
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Now, you also mentioned dreams. A lot of people like to say God speaks to you through dreams and he communicates that way, or you may have a revelation or something that hits you that you're like, okay, I know this is from God. You spoke about dreams and your siblings either making fun of you, saying, "Oh, she could tell the future. She could tell the future." Give me one example of something that you dreamt of or you saw that actually came to light.
Oh my God, there's just so many.
Hold on, I
Um,
couldn't hear you.
oh, sorry, it's okay. There's just so many. Um, let's see, which one can I do? So, oh, what story do I want to tell?
It don't have to be
This,
lengthy, just something that you knew you saw in your dream that actually came to life.
okay, so a little personal background. At one point, I used to be married.
Okay.
Um, so my husband at the time, I would tell him like, when we first got together, like, oh, make sure you're honest with me about stuff because like I'm gonna find out. I find out everything in my dreams or whatever. So it was one. So we was together for about 5 years, and I never believed in going through phones or anything like that. And I remember one day having a dream that it was like about it was so random. It was like about a female or something like that. And I was like, oh, it's very random. So I asked him about it, and he was just like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. So on his side of things, he said, like, okay, obviously he split because of females or whatever. But on his side of things, he remembered driving one day and he was just like, his car broke down.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, he remembered saying to God, oh my gosh, if my car can just magically work, I'll come clean to her or whatever. And it was the same day that I asked him about it. And he told me no, like, it was just a dream or whatever. He said in that same time he said that his car had magically worked. And then he came back home. He didn't tell me. So then his car broke down again. And then I had the dream that same night. And I was like, hey, we need to talk. Something's just not right. Maybe they end up getting like revealed the next day.
Wow.
It was a crazy story, but yeah.
Wow. That's
So,
crazy. I believe it. You don't
yeah.
even you listen, I'm one to have as a little kid, I've always had some visions of things about people I've never met, and I'll tell my mom and she'll be like, how do you know this? How do you know that? I've never met them. I've never been to Haiti, and I could tell you how my grandfather passed away, what land he owned, and people would be like, how you know this? And trust me, so I believe you on this. We are not going to hold you too much longer. I want you to start with your story about what happened. I believe it was October of 2022, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. October the 27th, I believe.
Okay.
So, did you want me to do the background leading up to it, or you want
You
me to just
can,
go
whatever
straight
it's
into the
going to give us
story?
insight of what. Because I know you started the story initially. You were supposed to make a part 3, and you got everybody sitting there like, where's the
Okay.
part 3? Where's the
Yeah,
part 3?
yeah. So, okay, so leading up to the story, so I was 26 at the time, and as I was 26, I was going through a divorce because we started the divorce when I was 25, and it was like a year long. So during that time of me going through a divorce, I got real depressed. I was drinking. I started smoking weed. I started experimenting with shrooms, nothing else though. Um, but I was also a dancer. So I noticed the path that I was going on. I started to lose those abilities that I was telling you about, how I could connect with nature, my dreams, the birds, the wind. It just felt like everything was now voided. Like it just felt completely empty. I couldn't feel anything no more. I couldn't lay down, dream, think about tomorrow, let alone think about the next week. But I had a sense that death was following me. Like I could feel like, okay, there's going to be a tomorrow, there's going to be a next month, there's going to be a next year. And I was also working in a nursing home, and I never understood when patients would sit there and say, "Hey, death is knocking," or "I know when I'm going to die." And sometimes they would pass away, and I'm like, "How did they know they were going to pass away?"
Mm-hmm.
I started to feel that. I felt like I was on borrowed time. And I started moving very paranoid. I kept saying, man, I don't think I'm going to make it to 27. Man, I can't see myself making it to 27. Why can I not see myself making it to 27? And I'm just like, something kept telling me, like, I was going to die soon.
Wow.
So I started getting real paranoid. And one thing about me, when I was a kid, I used to be real paranoid about the thought of death.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, what happens when you die? Is it just blank? Like, is it just empty, nothing? Like, just the thought of it scared me a lot. So I started being real paranoid about that. I started harboring on death more, being like, okay, what is life after death? Like, what does that look like? Is reincarnation real? Is life after death real? Like. So this one particular day, I went to work, and when I go to work, we have these things that we could do called rooms, private
Okay.
rooms. It makes us a lot more money than just stage. So where I was working, it was like $1,000 for an hour. So there was like about three gentlemen, and they was like they wanted three of us women in there, and the girls that they had going in the room aren't the normal females that I would go in a room with. So I
Mm-hmm.
never really did private rooms with these females. Um, So with any hour, you get a free bottle of champagne, shots, or whatever you want to do. Um, I never just set my drink down. I typically never do something that careless, or if they pop a bottle and stuff like that, I see them pour it, or I'll pour it myself, or I'll just drink some water, get a water bottle. But this one particular day, they popped a bottle of champagne and stuff like that. They start bringing fans into the room. I didn't think nothing of it because I'm like, okay, there's like gonna be six of us in this tiny room. It's gonna get hot. We're gonna be dancing, partying, or whatever. So we all did a cheers. They was
Mm-hmm.
pouring the drinks as everybody's moving away. I didn't think nothing of it. We all did a cheers. Okay, cool. Um, so although I said that, like, I was smoking weed or I would experiment with shrooms, I never really did. Not really, never. I never did any hard drugs
Okay.
before. So if you never did any hard drugs, you're not going to have a tolerance for that. And one thing about me, I have a very sensitive body. I don't. I think I'm the 1% when it comes to stuff. I'm scared to take ibuprofen. So I be like, I don't. I be looking up so much stuff on Google. I get so paranoid. Everybody tell me like I just don't pass me out. But anyways, we drank the champagne, and like maybe after about 15 minutes, do you ever have like that throw up feeling where your body's telling you like, hey, you're about to throw
Yep.
up? Yeah, and you just start dry heaving. You're just like, oh, it's feeling queasy. My stomach starts feeling queasy, and I was just like, oh, maybe I need to
Something
get in
not
front of
right.
the
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And the gentleman that was talking to me, he kept saying, "How are you feeling? Are you feeling okay? Are you hot? Are you dizzy?" And I'm over here like, back up, like, why do you keep asking me these weird questions? Not thinking nothing of it. Um, but I'm like, I need to just get in front of the fan. I'm just feeling a little sick to my stomach. I need to just, get some air. And he's just like, oh, just sit back, relax, and everything like that. Enjoy it. And I'm just like, he's acting weird, and everybody just like acting weird in there. Everybody's just like, "Oh, are you okay? Just let loose, have fun." And I'm just like, these people are crazy. So after a few minutes in front of the fan, I'm just like, something still isn't right.
Yeah,
Like
you could
everything
feel
just,
it.
yeah, it started feeling very claustrophobic. Like everything just started tightening
Mm-hmm.
around me, and it was starting to get a little hard to breathe. So I bent over because I'm like, I know what it feels like when I'm about to throw up, but
Mm-hmm.
at that point, throwing up. So I felt my body getting like really hot. And then I was like, I felt weak. So I fell to my knees. And I was okay, something's not right. Like, I think I need to get out of here. Something's not right. But I couldn't pick myself up, so I start crawling towards the door. Sorry, I think I'm coming
It's
out with a
okay.
cold. But I start crawling towards the door, and everybody in there is just like, no, 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 sit back, just relax, and like get off of me. Like everybody's acting weird in here. Like get off me, don't touch me.
Mm-hmm.
I try to call to the door because I'm like, why are they trying to keep me in here? Why are they trying so hard to keep me in here? So I'm trying to crawl to the door. I'm like, if I could just get to the door, I know my manager's like across the thing. If I could just yell to him, he could come over here and he could help me because I feel like something's about to happen in this room. So I was able to like stick my head out the door and yell loud enough for my manager to run over. He see me on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
so he comes running over. And at that point, the way the room is set up, you have to walk up like 3 stairs in order to get into the room.
Okay.
But it's carpeted. So as he's running in the room, and the other managers and the security guards running in the room trying to figure out what's going on, they're all cussing and everything, trying to figure out what's going on. I'm trying to crawl and get out of there, but my body's just going limp.
Mm-hmm.
As my body's going limp, I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, I think I'm about to die. Like I had a sense come over me, like, okay,
I'm
it's
about
not
to
one of
pass.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of those. Oh, I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna be sick. It was one of those.
You knew it.
Like I knew my body was shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this isn't normal. Like my body's telling me like, hey, this is the end. I
Wow.
can't put it into words on how I knew it, but it's like I knew that's what's about to end, like happen. So at that point, it's just like the movies that I described, where it's just like a person gets shot and then they lay their head down and then they just go limp and their eyes are open or whatever. So I'm trying to crawl, and as I'm crawling, I'm losing all control of my body, and I just lay there, and my head just falls like that, and I feel my eyes just go into like a blank stare,
Mm-hmm.
like I knew that was it. But leading up to that, I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel any pain. I didn't feel like anxiety or anything. It just was
Calm.
calm. Like it was just like, okay, well, here we are.
Wow.
So like, okay. So as that happened, I just at this point I'm guessing I'm out of my body because I'm looking down at myself and I'm just like, damn, she had potential. And at first when I said it, I was kind of startled. I was like, did I just say, damn, she had potential? As I'm looking at my body there.
That would have shook me.
And,
That's like,
you know,
what?
yeah, but I wasn't in panic mode or anything like that. Um, I just start walking around the club. And when I say walking around the club, not my body, because my body's
You're
just laying
still on the
there, but
ground, but you can see
yeah,
yourself.
but yes. So I guess out of body experience. I'm walking around the club, seeing people panic, people telling other people to get back, customers trying to figure out what's going on, people on stage, stop dancing. And I'm just looking at everybody panic, everybody yelling, and nobody can see them doing all this because again, I'm laying on the
Wow.
ground. And so I walk back over there towards my body, and I'm just looking, and I'm just like, man, she had a lot of potential. But again, like I said, I wasn't nervous, I wasn't scared or anything like that. But then when I looked over to the side, it was like we're still in the club in a way,
Mm-hmm.
but we're in a different plane of the club. Like there's different planes.
Yeah.
Like okay, you have the earthly plane, you have like this
It was just
uh
different. Like you're separated from
yes,
that reality, but you still
yes,
within that reality, in
yes,
a sense.
exactly. Yes, exactly. And it was like this source. And the best way I can describe that source, because like it didn't have a face, it didn't have a body, it it looked like just a ball of energy. Like not electricity, but like
A source of being.
yeah, it's
Like
just
you
like this
can't explain it, but you know
glowing.
it exists. It exists, but you
Yes.
you see it, but you can't explain it.
Yeah, it's like this source, but it was light. It was very light. I will
Yeah.
say that it was light, but
Different.
and all these yes, but I knew what that source was. I wasn't scared of it. I knew I wasn't in any type of danger. It felt familiar to me.
Yeah.
I knew what that source was. And I just remember looking that way and I was like, "Oh, this is familiar." And then as I said like this is familiar, I'm like, "Wait, this is home. I miss this place.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss this. Okay, I know what it is. It's like I was starting to remember everything
Yeah.
about that
Yeah. That's another
place
part of the
and what
story
that
that
was.
shook me too, because I'm like, what? Like what? Keep going.
Yeah, because
Ah,
you hear these things where people are just like say that someone woke up out of a coma and then
yeah.
they slowly start getting their memories back. That's how it felt. Like,
Like your
oh, what is
memories
this?
coming back.
Yeah, it's like, what is this? Wait, I know what this is. Oh, this is home. Yeah, I miss this place. Like, okay, I know what this is. It,
Uh-huh.
it came back like that. So I'm talking to the source, and the source is talking to me, but not the way that me and you are. It's talking to me like in a different way,
Hmm.
like through mind.
Like I see you and I understand what you're saying and you
Yeah,
understand. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, okay. So that's how it was, and I remember again looking down at the body, and I was just like, man, she had potential. And then the source just saying like, okay, are you ready to have a conversation? And I'm like, yeah. And it's just like, okay, so this is one of your exit points. And again, I'm just like, one of my exit points. And it was like, yes, one of your exit points. You chose this as one of your exit points. You have a couple exit points in your contract. And I was like, my contract. And I was like, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It started to slowly come back to me. I was like, okay, this is one of my ending
Excellent.
points.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, when you say this is one of my exit points, that means I can end my contract right now if I want to, or I could continue. And it was like yes. And I was like, okay. I was like, if I choose to end my contract right now, is it going to cause anybody else to end their contract?
Okay.
And the source said yes to other people. And I guess what it meant by ending contract, those people might have taken their life or taken it
Yeah.
really bad, or it was going
Yeah.
to cause them to use their exit point. It didn't clarify who it was. I had a great idea of who it may have been that would have ended their contracts, but I didn't ask. And I was like, okay, if I choose to end my contract right now, will I cross paths with any of these other souls in
Mm-hmm.
this lifetime that I cross paths with? And it said no. And it's not that I felt sadness, but I can tell that my soul or whatever that was sitting there thinking like, I'm not done with these souls yet though.
Yeah.
Like, it's like something I have to do with these souls before I end my contract. That was more so the thought process.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, well, let me ask you another question. If I choose to stay and renew this contract, will I get my gifts back? Will I get my dreams back? Will I get my communication with the world back? Will I be able to communicate with the trees, the birds, everything that I felt like I lost? And it said, yes, we could talk about that and put that back into the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was like, okay, did I master anything that I came here to do in this contract? Or do I still have something?
You get a notification?
Yeah, I'm getting a notification. But it said that I completed some of it, but not what I came there to
Not what you
master.
came to do. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I guess like when you sign a contract for this
Particular
body,
thing. Mm-hmm.
yes, you come here to master something before you move on to your next life, and then master something else. It's kind of that thought process. Like, okay, you ever had random gifts, and you're just like, I can't explain why I have these gifts. It's because you mastered those in your past life,
Yeah.
which is why you just already inherit them in this life. So I was like, okay. Um, I was like, okay. So if I don't renew my contract, then I'm gonna go to my next contract and
Yeah.
start there, and I'm not gonna cross paths. And it was like, yes. So I was like, okay. I'm gonna choose to renew my contract,
Okay. I was waiting
and
on that part because I'm like, what?
yeah. Uh, but it told me like, okay, going forward, you're not gonna remember much of this conversation that we're having because you're choosing to renew your contract and go back into it.
Yeah.
So, what it did tell me though is that like, the reason why I'm not gonna remember anything going forward about what we're gonna discuss is because me being in that plane. So I'm trying to explain the best I can. So me being in that plane, I knew what I came here to master.
Okay.
So I had to experience it on this plane in order to master it. Even though I knew what I needed to master.
You had to like experience it without knowing exactly what
Yes.
you're going to experience.
Yes.
So it kind of
Yes.
like, you know how you watch, was it Back to the Future where if, what's his name, would have did something he knew about, it'd interfere with what the future is going to be?
Yes.
Back to the past. But that was typically what it is.
Yeah. So, it was explaining that to me, and because I was trying to figure out why couldn't I remember anything? Why won't I be able to remember what we're about to talk about? But it said that it'll go over the things that I would get back, like certain gifts that I would get back, and then it will go over the things that I need to finish mastering before I can move on to the next life. And then it told me, it said it was going to explain to me what my next exit point is going to be if I choose to do that before the end. And I was like, okay. So from everybody else's point of view, I was only on the ground for 20 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds.
But that was a long.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it shakes you up just knowing that, like, previously I was just drugged, I was just overdosed, and I was just laying there dead. Couldn't move my limbs, couldn't move, talk, anything. I'm dead. To knowing that, hey, I walked around the club, I sat here,
You did so
reevaluated my
much.
body, I sat here, had a whole conversation with this being, this source. And you're telling me it was only 20 seconds in human life, though? It just
That's
gave
like
you the
surreal.
sense that, yeah, it just gives you the sense that, okay, time really is an illusion, you know?
Does it
And
make you get like the feeling of being in like the Matrix kind of thing? Does like that, I mean, because that's what it sounds like. Like, this has to be the Matrix.
So, yes, in a sense, because after that happened, like I said, everyone said that I was there for about 20 to 30 seconds. After those 20, 30 seconds, I just popped up like nothing happened. And everybody was shook because they was like, we felt you, like you had no pulse or nothing. So they didn't give me CPR. The ambulance wasn't called. Like I said, my body was completely limp. Even if I was just extremely high, you're telling me I only got extremely high for 20 seconds and then came back to my conscious and just was
Which
able to
makes
move,
no
talk as
sense.
if nothing happened. Exactly. I got up as if I was completely sober. Nothing was wrong with me. In my right state of mind, I went to the back, got dressed, got my keys, got in my car, and drove home.
It's almost like you had a reset, like whatever, like, yo, that
Yeah.
is
They said I
like,
just got up like I was a zombie as if it was nothing. Like,
I don't know. See, the whole thing when you said that, it asked if you wanted to, if you wanted to end your contract. I was like, contract? First of all, I don't know. I feel like some part of us, no matter what we do, we kind of like come into agreements with things. Like, I have to agree to be in a relationship. I have to agree to, proceed with something. So when I heard that, I was like, contract? I do feel like, when people are talking about with Jesus Christ, you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior, you have to accept it. That's almost like saying, I have a contract with God. I accept to follow God. I accept to follow, pick up the cross and follow him. So when I heard the contract part, and when you said exit point, I was like, it sounded like if someone was a non-believer of things, because we have people who just do not believe in the spiritual world. They don't believe in different realms. They don't believe in, out of body experiences. So for you telling them that story, they'll be like, that's just for views. But for a person like myself, I don't know about the chat, but for a person like myself, I've seen things as a child that I could have never known, conversations and things that are happening in another country that I would never known. So to me, when I hear that story, it instantly, if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? It's no explanation. You just, So when I heard you say certain things in your story, I was like, she's speaking from experiencing this. This is not somebody who heard a story and was like, oh, let me just go on TikTok and get views. You experienced this and you believe what you experienced, which is why I wanted you on the show. And it's intriguing, like, to think if you could just imagine that we would have contracts. We would agree to come into this life to do certain things and then having to go to a different realm or having a spiritual experience that most people have never had. It's wow. It's like How you not believe it? Like, you know what I'm saying? I just, if you know, you know. That's the only way you can explain the things that you can't explain. If you know, you
And
know.
it's like one of those things where it's like a, because like being in that plane and talking to that source, like I said, it felt like home, and we're having, you know, a conversation. It's one of those things like you ever been going somewhere and something told you, hey, don't go that way.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I don't know, something's telling me not to go that way. I don't know how I know not to go that way, but it's
You
telling me not to
just
go
know
that way.
not to go that way. I do
It
have a
is
question.
That's because your body is telling you from that other plane, like, hey, you know,
I
I'm
did
looking
this
out for
already.
myself down there. Yeah,
I've
so
already
don't do
did
that.
this.
It's gonna end bad.
I
Yes.
do have a question from DJ in the chat. I'm not sure if you can see the questions. He DJ says, "Did you try to make?" Hold on, that was not the you. You had two questions, sir. Don't be tricking me. You know I ain't got my glasses on now. Don't make me put my glasses on. The first question DJ has is, from that experience, did you start moving differently? That was his first question.
Yeah, so I would say for like the first couple weeks, I was still trying to process everything. I I couldn't like I came back to when I came back to this plane or this world, I felt small. Like everything that I was stressing about, I was like, it has no meaning.
Oh,
I didn't realize just how much life really meant and how big other things are compared to
us
my
or
life.
you?
It's like, okay, so I was just like, oh my gosh, this materialistic stuff doesn't matter. This isn't going to matter. Oh my gosh, this isn't even a part of the plan. Like I was completely looking at the world different. Like
Differently.
I felt alone too. And it's like I didn't feel scared, but I was
You
just
felt kind of
looking at the
isolated
world.
in a way, if that's the.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the trees and stuff. I could feel the trees and stuff again. The things that I would take for granted, just small things, just even seeing the wind blow against the grass. I was just like, people don't really understand life. At
Yeah.
that point, I wasn't understanding life, and I wasn't scared of death anymore. Just the thought of even dying, it doesn't really cross my mind. I'm like, I know that's gonna happen one day, but I'm not scared of it. It's like, okay, I know it's not gonna hurt. I mean, yeah, I guess I could say I'm kind of scared of how I'm gonna die because I don't know
Okay.
how I'm gonna die. But uh, for the first couple weeks, I felt absolutely alone. Like I, it didn't feel like this plane was real
What?
to
Okay.
me.
It's almost
It's
like
just okay.
being
It's just an experience.
correct. I was gonna say it's almost like having it's almost like going to Starbucks, right? And then trying somebody else's coffee. It's not the brand that you're familiar with. It's not the same taste. You can try to mimic it, but it's not the real thing. It's almost like, you know how people say, I see colors and then I see colors? It's almost like watching TV from black and white and then seeing color TV. You know the real color TV. So now going into the world and everything's kind of grayish, it's different. Or, you know, if
Yeah,
that makes sense. He did have
I
another
was.
question.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
DJ
Go
said,
ahead.
did you try to make people understand? I guess understand the situation or understand you?
So when that situation happened, I didn't talk to anybody about it.
Okay.
I I didn't want to be. I don't want to say looked at as crazy, but I couldn't exactly comprehend it at that point to explain it to people because I was, like I said, I was still trying to process it myself. Like how, like when you watch the videos, I kept telling you like I can't put it in human context of how me and that source was talking and what it was saying to me. Even though I'm saying like, hey, it doesn't have lips, it's not moving.
We
it's
could
it's like one of
communicate
those things. Yeah, it's one of those things like, okay, if you and another person is in a room and someone says something crazy and y'all just look at each other and y'all know exactly what each other's thinking. It's one of
without even
those.
really, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
it's easy for me. My brother just entered the chat, so he knows what I'm talking about. It's just easy for me because you know, some people call themselves, oh, I'm a prophet, I'm this, I'm that. I don't call myself that. I am not a prophet. But I can see things. And it's not like seeing things like I'm gonna just close my eyes and be like, hey, Jayla, if you go down the street tomorrow, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work in a sense of something you could turn on or turn off. It's something that when it comes, it comes.
It's just a knowing. Yeah, it's
It's
just
the
a
knowing.
knowing.
It's the
Yeah.
going to sleep, waking up, and having a dream. And it may not be word for word exact, but it's gonna happen in some sort of order where people are gonna be like, hold on, she said that. Like it's just
Yeah.
listen, I had dreams about Israel And I don't do politics. I don't do, I'm not into anything of the world in the sense of where I study anything. I don't know. I can't tell you where Israel is right now. And, I had a dream about Israel, but in the dream, the angel that was there was telling me, no one is going to believe you, but I need you to say this. I need you to say exactly what you saw in a dream, and I need you to do it. So when I woke up, I did a recording. I was driving to work. I did a recording, and I posted it to my my FB page at the time, not knowing anything about what's going on in Israel. And kid you not, came to life. I had the dream, I think, in August or September, and October 7th, the situation happened in Israel. And I'm looking like, I don't, like, how would I know that? There's no faking that. You get what I'm saying? So when you say certain things, I'm like, if you know, you just know. There are some people I believe God would gift you with sight, and it's just for that. You may not be able to save someone with it. Whatever God's intent will be, it will be very clear. You understand? At the moment, you may not understand it, but it's going to be very clear when it matters. When the time matters, it's going to be like, oh, I remember this. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's just the way it is. There's no explaining it to anyone who's, I won't say tapped into that side, because it's not like you tapped into it. God just give you insight, and it is what it is. It's not like how people used to be, hey, Cleo, and you call Cleo, and Cleo tells you, oh, man, this is what's going on with your boyfriend. And no, it is something you just know. Like, I can go to sleep, wake up, and I'll be like, this will happen, but I don't know what day it's going to happen. And kid you not, it will happen. If you know, you know, and it's not something that you play around with, or it's not something that you use for profit. You get what I'm saying? So, I don't know. So when you say you can't explain certain things, I know not being able to explain certain things. And I just know, I know what it means. I know what it feels like. I know what it is. I know how it feels. But I'm like, I can't find the words. And I get so dramatic. And my husband's like, June, chill. And I'm like, no, I'm crying so hard. Like, I had a friend who passed away. And I dreamt before she passed that it was related to witchcraft and everything. And I woke up early in the morning, and I told my daughter, and I said, hey, baby, we got to pray in the car for this person. She was like, who we praying for? I said, I don't know who we praying for, but I just know she is not going to make it. And I explained exactly what happened. And let's just say I end up at my friend's funeral, and I had to, I was not even going to speak. I'm sitting there, I'm Haitian, and I don't know if you know about Caribbean people, they're very super, listen, you can't come over there and tell them you know anything about anything, because they're going to think you're a witch, they're going to think you this and that. Yep. And I sat there sitting down quietly, and I said, I'm not going to say a thing, and then something just hit me like, this is the reason why you had the dream. It wasn't to save your friend. God had already destined for her to pass the way she was going to pass. God allowed that person to utilize their witchcraft to end her life. But I need you to get the message across that what they did was a temporary death. She died temporarily. But because she believed in God so much, she's alive. So I got up and I gave her a sermon that I did not practice this. I am not a preacher. I am none of this. And I sat there and I said exactly what I saw in the dream. And I kid you not, her mom called me. She got my number from people on Facebook and called me and said, how did you know? And this is a woman I don't even know. So I do believe God will allow you to have experiences, and we are unknowing and don't understand what the true meaning behind certain things are. We just know. You just know. And
that happened to my uncle. So one day I was laying down, and I started getting like these hot and cold sweats, and the lights started flickering. Well, according to everybody else, the lights weren't flickering, but to me, the lights was flickering. Like I was telling everybody, the lights was flickering, and I was feeling like I was passing away. And I remember just reaching out to all my family, like, hey, is everyone okay? Hey, did you check on this person? Did you call this person? Everybody's like, yeah. I'm just like, they was like, why are you being paranoid? I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like something's happening to somebody. A couple hours later, my mom wrote me and was like, hey, your uncle just passed away. And he died of a drug overdose. And I was like, okay. So I was experiencing his symptoms. I was experiencing him passing away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where you were saying, hold on, I lost my train of thought. Oh, like we experience the things for a certain reason. Like I said, I was doing private home healthcare, had a lot of patients. And, with private home healthcare, there are a lot of older patients. And they oftentimes have the question like, they're scared of death, or what's after death? Is their family members going to meet them and stuff like that? And I truly believe that, like I said, I wasn't really sharing my experience with anybody, but I do believe that what I experienced was to also help them feel some type of comfort, getting them ready for their passings as well.
Okay, I have a question. DJ said, how do you choose who to pray for and who not to pray for? Is that question for me or Jayla? Oh, it's for me. Here's the thing. I don't choose who to pray for. It's like, example, when I first started doing lives, listen, I'm very, I guess, called religious, right? For the sake of words, religious, but I'm not. I seek a relationship with God. My husband is not. He believes in, that's a whole nother subject. He does believe in God, but he just doesn't believe in the Jesus because of black and white situation. He believe don't want to say too much, you know how TikTok is. But anyways, when I go on live and I was having, I was just talking about random things on live. You know how you go live, you just talking random things. Hey, welcome to the chat, and you're just having fun or whatever. And I don't know who it is who mentioned something. They said something about my appearance. Oh, like, woman, aren't you tired of selling yourself for social media? Don't you know God? And instantly something clicked, and I prayed for the person. I said, before I respond to you, let me pray for you. It's not because I was putting on a show for TikTok, because we was not talking about prayer, religion, or anything. We were just like, hey, welcome to the live. Tap the screen. Let me be your friend. You be my friend type of thing. And I instantly started praying for this individual, and I gave a testimony of how I was almost unalive. It's just something you feel. It's almost like breathing. It's something you feel. Like I'll have a dream, and I wake up, and I know I can't stop the situation. I had a friend who passed away who was unalive because, he dabbled in illegal activities. So he was in a house that, people do illegal activities. And unfortunately, he opened the door for somebody, and that person, offed him. Before my friend called me to tell me about what happened, I was already asleep. I dreamt about decorating the hall for the repast because I used to do decorations. So as I'm in my sleep, I get a phone call, and I can hear the phone ring in my sleep. I pick up the phone, and I'm like, who died? And my friend was like, what? How do you know? I say, I just dreamt I did a decorations for this person in a hall that had 2 separate rooms. So the hall had 2 separate rooms, right? So they say, so-and-so passed away. And I cried so bad because it's like, I saw it happen, but I couldn't do anything. Like, the phone rang, and he was already gone. But just to make a long story short, when I got to the repast was in a big church that had 2 separate rooms. When I walked in, they said, this is the one thing I heard them say is, after the viewing, we have to go into the other room to have tea. And I immediately passed out. Like, somebody had to catch me, because in the dream, the woman who saw me in the dream said, hey, I need you to do this repast. We're going to celebrate this person in 2 separate rooms. And it was my friend who passed away, and I could do nothing about it. Like, it's almost like at that point I was like, God, why would you give me this? And I can't help the people you want me to help. Like, what's the point? See, I was thinking that God wanted me to change his design or his view. God wanted me to correct what he already ordained. He wasn't asking me to correct it. He was just telling me, just pay attention. A lot of us tend to think like we can correct God. Like, how you correct God? You know what I'm saying? But that's how, when I saw your video, I just know. You ain't got to explain too much. I just know. I just know. So that's why I wanted you to come up. I mean, your story is, I don't know. I think you should post part 3. Post it. Don't worry about how your hair look. Don't worry about trying to explain too much, because the people who get it, they're just going to get it. They just going to get it. It's like me giving you a cup of water and saying, drink. You already know it's water. I don't have to say anything to you. You just know. You know,
Yeah.
I think you experienced that for a greater purpose. Whatever that purpose is, I don't know. You know, I'm not going to lie to you and be like, Jayla, I know exactly. I don't know crap, honey.
Yeah.
I'm living this life just like you are living your life. And whenever that contract comes to terms, it's going to click. But I will say this. I don't give religion. I don't sell religion. I couldn't sell you nothing, honey. But I will say God has a purpose for you. And I will say, as my opinion, but my opinion being my experience, right? My experience to me is factual. And I can only explain to myself why it's factual. I can't convince you why Jesus Christ is just the only way. I just know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I would say seek God. Not saying you not, but seek him differently. And seek him without the attachment of religion. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Seek him without the attachment of religion. I'm not going to look for any other words because there is no other words that God is telling me to say. Seek him without any attachments to religion, and you will find him in the places you need to find him. People invite me to different churches, and I go. I don't care what kind of church it is, and I always say, "Lord, protect me as I enter this church. Protect me as I speak to this individual." Because just because they're not aligned with what you believe in, doesn't mean they don't have something to tell you that God is telling them to say. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I know I say a lot. I talk a lot. But I think DJ had one more thing. He said, do you tend to encourage young ladies that may be afraid to walk in faith like you? And he's referring that to you. So DJ's question to you is, do you encourage young ladies that may be afraid to walk on faith like you did?
Yeah, of course. Like I said, I've been a dancer for 4 years, and you see a lot of young women lose themselves in that job. You see them go down that same path where they're just going through the motions. They're just drinking, doing drugs, and some of them might experience with drugs and overdose. I've seen a few suicides, a few people take their lives. So, whereas I know I have experience, and I know that I call it planting a seed. I would never want to sit here and be like, hey, you need to do this, do this, do this, because this is what I did, and this is what I did wrong. But, I can sit there and just explain my stories and how they affected me and what happened to me,
Okay.
in hopes that they would take whatever I went through. That way they won't have to go through it themselves. There's different types of people. There's people that has to go through certain things in order to learn lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some people that can take other experiences from other people so they don't have to endure those same lessons. So wherever I can help prevent certain things, by just telling my story, I do. I try to do that.
It's a beautiful story. It's kind of scary in a way, but don't take away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it the same. Keep it the true. Yeah. If you can't explain it, you can. Like I'm going to say again, the people it's supposed to impact, it's going to impact. And that's what I want to say. Anybody from the chat got another question before we end the live? It's 8:08. Typically, the podcast lasts about 1 hour. But if you have any questions for me, it's not just me asking you questions. Feel free to ask me those questions. And don't think just because it was the podcast, you can contact me. You have my number if you want to ever talk. What he said, I'll stop asking questions now. DJ, you is a mess. If you want to follow DJ, he sometimes have panels. And I'm not saying it just because this TikTok, we trying to have followers, but he also holds a lot of panel talks. He's somebody who I met in another live creators room, and certain people you meet, you're like, yeah, I like this person. He's one of the people that I like. You can actually have those conversations with. But I want to thank you again for coming on and trusting me with your story. Like I like to call them testimonies. Everything is a testimony because it's just a story. We get so hooked up on the word testimony, religion. Oh, God, I want, but it's just a story. Don't be ashamed of your story. And please do a part 3. Please do a part 3.
All right. I'll get on that.
Do the part 3. It's not about the content. It's about who you're going to impact. Everything that we do impacts this world and impacts lives. It's just like throwing a stone in the river. Those little ripples, they get bigger. And I just feel like your ripple is going to get bigger. All right?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And thank you for having me.
No, thank you. The pleasure is mine. I appreciate you.
Get up
I'm going to do a short clip and I'll send it to you probably sometime this week. And again, Go get you some medication and feel better, all right?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for
And thank
being
you,
here.
DJ. All right.
DJ! You know how
All
to
right.
disconnect, right?
Have a good night.
Good night.
Just the X button, right?
Yep. Just the X button.
Okay. All right.
All right, that was an amazing story. Again, her name is Jayla, guys. Go ahead and follow her. I had at her in the comments. So it's Siren the Dawn, and her story is just, yeah, that was great. I love to find people who got story that, see, I know this app is about content and makeup and this and that. Anything could be content, but for me, I look for things that are stories like that that is just going to give me that wow factor, like, oh my God, this happened to you. Stories people would overlook because they're so busy chasing the tea on this platform. I look for things that I can relate to, things that are going to make a difference. And I would say some of the words that she chose to use gave me chills, like, you know, this is your exit point. Like her story, the being or the entity asks her, you know, this was your exit point. And I'm like, wow, how does that not give you chills? Like, you plan an exit point, like almost like the Matrix, like you had the ability to plan out where you passed away, and you have the ability to enter a new life or a new situation or a new contract. Like those words, they're not make-believe. She said her story the same way she said it when she did her video. And when you see somebody who's telling you something, you just know when it's real. You know when it's not fabricated. You know when it's not just content, which is why I wanted her on this show. Guys, in life, we're here for a reason. Whatever you think, if you're a small individual, you just feel like, oh, I'm not going to do anything good in my life. There's nobody I'm going to impact. You are mistaken if you believe that you're here just to work, and that is it. Every one of us have something that we have to accomplish on this earth, whether we know it now or later. I'm just saying, when are you going to stop? When are you really going to stop and listen to what God is trying to tell you? If God is telling you to do something, act on it. Take your time, pray about it, and act on it. Guys, remember, it is not about religion. It is about a relationship with God. And guys, do not be afraid to have conversations with individuals who are not like-minded. I don't have to be like-minded to have a conversation with you. We don't have to go to the same church to have a conversation or have the same beliefs. A conversation is a two-way street. Remember what I'm saying, guys. I appreciate you guys for coming in and tuning in. I know the story was long. I know the podcast was long today, but guess what? It was worth it. Thank you for coming in again. DJ, I appreciate you for sticking by. As always, before we end the live,